Hello again, and welcome to another edition of Real Estate Intelligence. I'm your host, Simon Giannini, and we've got a great episode for you today. We're talking about an incredible new condo project, condo development in the Bayview Village area. Of course, I'm talking about 625 Bayview Village. I've got a couple of, the experts in the business. We have on the call, we have Paulo Abate, CEO of Haven Developments, and we have Richard Goldstein, who's president of First Republic Capital. Now, this is a unique episode of the show because we're going to be talking about the opportunity for someone to invest in a condo as a private condo investor. That's where I come in. I'm a real estate broker. Of course, when we start talking about equity investments, that's where Richard comes in. He's the exempt market dealer, and for that component of the call, I'll leave that all to him. You do need to be an accredited investor, so not everybody will qualify for that. And this episode is designed to give you a very brief overview of the project details. And for those that are interested, you'll have the opportunity to request a detailed due diligence package with all the information. Of course, if you're interested in the condo development, you'll just contact me, and we'll provide. We won't be providing pricing online because it's confidential and it's not actually even released to the general public yet. So that's one of the advantages. If you are interested in the equity participation, that's a different thing, and you can deal directly with Mr. Goldstein with First Republic. So let's just get into this. First up, I have Paulo Abate, CEO Haven Developments. He's the good-looking guy on the top, and the almost as good-looking guy on the bottom is Richard Goldstein, of course. You know what I look like, so you had enough of my photo. So let's dive into this, and let's start with Paulo. Paulo, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
Well, listen, you and I are no strangers. We've been working together for many years now. We've talked about various projects on the radio show, on the TV show, of course, and of course we're all excited about 625. Brilliant location. I won't steal your thunder. I'll let you talk about it. So, first of all, when we talk about developments, I know who Haven is, but our viewers and our listeners will certainly want to know who Haven is. And so tell us a little bit about Haven. Tell us a little bit about your MO. And remember, we've got to be short and sweet here.
Absolutely. Haven has core philosophies that it follows in acquiring and developing property, and I think that is the best way to better understand who Haven is. One of the most important and overarching philosophies is that we're developing in what we believe the strongest market in the country, and more so North America, and certainly a beacon all over the world. We exclusively develop in Toronto, the GTA, and more specifically, we want to develop within 500 meters of what we call high-order public transit, and that's TTC subway, it's light rail transit or the LRT, and it's the Union Pearson Express or GO stations.
Well, certainly we're familiar with, our viewers are familiar with University Heights. We did an entire episode, brilliant location, commercial condo development, which is not what a lot of people are used to. So there's the retail component, and then there's the commercial condos. But if you look off on the right of your screen, you'll see TTC, and that's, I think it was 300 meters from the subway, correct?
200 meters, a little closer, Simon.
A little closer. Depends on which side of the building you start from, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But this is a great example of our philosophy, our philosophies in practice and in motion in terms of selecting this location. And I'm very happy to say this is a project well under construction now.
Wonderful. And then, of course, you've done a few other projects, Mount Dennis Townhomes, right off transit. We've got East Mall Townhomes, again, right off the TTC. And, I can sense a pattern here. I'm sure our viewers can as well. The Clarkson project right off the GO. In fact, aren't you literally connected to the GO somehow? There's an entrance?
With the in the works is a private stairwell that will connect to the GO bridge, so you'll be able to connect right into the GO station from the back of the property.
Yeah, and we've talked about that. Even before we were talking to Haven, we've talked about the importance of investors choosing locations that are tied to transit, tied to infrastructure, and then of course we have 625. Love the new branding, by the way. I love the logo. You guys spent big bucks on marketing. Of course, that's part of selling the units and getting the highest return, I guess.
Absolutely, it's important to tell the right story and to really showcase some of the unique features and architectural design and the great location that this building enjoys.
And people did a beautiful job. I think by all accounts, the consensus is this is a beautiful design. We talk about location, and we'll get to that in a second. Obviously, we talk about the developer and and Haven has the track record. We talk about location, again, 2 minutes from several subway stations, not just one. 2 minutes from Bayview Village Shopping, which is probably one of the rare high-end retail shopping malls in the city. And obviously, again, looking at transit, looking at all the locations, there it is on the left hand of your screen. You've got all the subway connections. You've got the highways just south of you, and all the shopping that you want. What's interesting is even though you're in that part of the north end of the city, there's an incredible walking score because you've got the mall. You can actually go down the street. You've got IKEA. You've got Canadian Tire. You've got Starbucks. You've got everything is literally steps away.
Agreed. We certainly have, aside from all the geographic benefits, we have an award-winning team. You mentioned a Teeple architect, Stephen Teeple, world-renowned. We have 2x4 Design, a Toronto and New York City-based design firm, also award-winning. We have an amazing builder that will build this out in Empire Communities, and a fantastic team of consultants, and of course Haven Development's behind the project.
Yeah, so certainly a no-brainer, and as I was alluding to earlier, the sales is not available to the general public just yet, and of course because we have a great relationship with Haven, we've negotiated platinum level access, which means you will get first access to purchasing suites, the best pricing. We've even twisted their arm a little bit. Paulo fights me once in a while, but we twisted their arm, got some great terms on down payment and closing costs and so on. And all of that is included in the package. We can't go over all the details on this brief webinar episode. However, we can send out an information package. So if you are interested in actually purchasing a suite for yourself or for an investment, let us know. As an extra value add for 4625, we've agreed that we'll be handling property management for your first year. So when you take possession of your condo, we'll actually place the tenant, qualify them, help you with the the pre-delivery inspection, make sure everything is handled, take care of the paperwork, credit check, all of that, just to make life easier for those condo investors that want to be landlords. Now, Paulo, thanks so much. Don't go away because we're still talking, but I want to bring on Richard from First Republic to talk about the other way that people can invest. And again, Richard is an exempt market dealer, and this is for accredited investors only. But Richard, I'll let you take the comm from here, buddy. Go ahead.
No problem. Thank you for having us today.
My pleasure, as always. So tell us a little bit about the offering. I've got a summary on the screen, and of course a more detailed breakdown is available in the due diligence package. But let's just give our viewers just a quick overview of the investment offering.
Okay, like many real estate limited partnerships, we are essentially trying to bring both retail investor alongside developer and sharing in the costs associated with the development, and then sharing obviously in the profits that should come from all of that effort. And so with respect to 625, the folks at Haven are looking to raise $8 million in limited partnership equity financing, and typical minimum investment on that would be $100,000. You did mention the accredited investor, and if you have any interest, we can go and discuss what is actually an accredited investor and what it takes to be one. But essentially, a 4-year target to generate a return that under the base case is expected to be somewhere around a 20 to 25% per annum return based on a 4-year schedule.
Now, I see here the notes indicate it is registered plan eligible, RSP, TFSA, etc.
Absolutely.
And
I will add, sorry, Simon, I just will add that it is all RSP and TFSA. Some of the bank-owned firms still struggle with this thing, but the folks at Haven, through both Olympia Trust and Community Trust, have provided an opportunity for investors who are unable to use their own existing financial institution, if for whatever reason, to allow them to transfer and still take advantage of the opportunity.
Sure, and certainly that doesn't mean you're collapsing your RSP. You're simply moving it from one institution to another, making it self-directed. Excuse me, and then that's how that goes. Of course, if you have specific questions, either about accreditation or about understanding the self-directed, I'm sure Richard, you'd be able to handle those calls one-on-one.
Be my pleasure.
Wonderful. And then, we're looking at, project timeline on your screen, funding, looking at finishing that in the next quarter or two. sales launch later this year, and then of course starting construction 2018 and completed 2 years later. So kind of a typical timeline for a low-rise project, looking at completion in less than 4 years from now. And you know, projections, these are just projections. If you want to just talk about those quickly.
So scenario one, which is the left column, is a sort of what we call our base case, and nothing has been finalized with the city as yet, but we're pretty confident that a 9-story structure will be accepted. I believe the folks at Haven have actually applied for 11 stories, and so just to be conservative, we've put the 9-story and the 10-story scenario side by each. And as I mentioned just briefly, you'll see at the very bottom 21.27%. That essentially is the overall return that is anticipated on the base case, divided by 4 based on a 4-year time frame. Needless to say, if it went to 5 years or it was 3 years, that would change somewhat anyways, for sure.
And that's an annual return we're talking about.
That's correct. The 21.27 that you see essentially is the 85% divided by 4.
Mm-hmm. Then, of course, if we have a 10-story or 11-story structure, we'd be looking at slightly higher return. If it takes a little longer, a little shorter, it's adjusted accordingly. So there is a little risk. There's no guarantee. It's not a locked-in guaranteed rate, but those are sort of the target financial projections.
And that's right. Now, there is no guarantee. Let's make you know, your listeners very clear. This is an equity investment side by side, but it allows for a retail investor who normally wouldn't get an opportunity to participate in building what is going to be a beautiful building in the area. And so hooking up with Haven through this investment structure is really the way to do it.
And I'll tell you, having done this, having been involved in many different LPs and other equity investments, I certainly have heard from our clients and our friends that there's a real gratification knowing that you're involved on the developer side. There's a pride in knowing that you actually built something and you can see it grow and you get a decent return. But aside from that, there's something tangible. It's not just a purely hypothetical investment that you just see numbers and dollars. There's something tangible, and there's a real pleasure to that. So obviously, there's a lot of information that people would have if they were going to invest. I'd want them to connect with you guys directly. So if you're interested in either or of the scenarios for investment, either buying a condo for investment or for your own use, for that matter, if it's something that fits your lifestyle, or if you're looking at the limited partnership opportunity, we will connect you with either Paolo's team at Haven, or we'll connect you with Richard's team at First Republic Capital. Gentlemen, a pleasure as always having you on the show, and this is where you can say goodbye.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
Awesome. So for more information, reach out to through our regular channels. You can either give us a call, 416-979-0333, or email us, info@reccanada.com. We'll get you the information package. We're recording this now. It's April 2016. We don't know how long the availability will be there for either the condos or for the limited partnership. So if you are interested, I would act sooner rather than later. And again, any questions at all, fire us a call, send us an email. We'll connect you to the right people. We'll get your questions answered, and we'd love to see you involved in this yet another great investment opportunity. Again, gentlemen, a pleasure as always, and we'll see you at 625 Shepherd. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.